Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the first meeting. I think it's a very, very important meeting. You know, like the full council is very, very important, and we make some difficult decisions. And I would like you all to respect each other. Obviously, when you stand up to speak, it's quite difficult, and we've got some new members, and it should be, we should show the example to the new members how we respect each other. Thank you. Members who have a disclosure interest which would prevent them from disclosing or voting on any item should disclose their interest now. Are there any interests? No? Can I remind any members who have declared any interest to complete a form and submit to the clerk by the end of the meeting? Thank you.
I'd like to advise members of the official return of the election of councillors held on the 2nd of May 2019 as set out on the tabled report in your papers.
Thank you for that. I would like to welcome all new councillors to the municipal year, including the new councillors. Afaq Butt, Paula Davis, Paula Davis, Councillor Goodwin, Councillor Hussain, Councillor Susan Lee Richards, Councillor Lukic, Councillor Marchington, Councillor Smith, Councillor Warner, and Councillor White. Welcome to you all. Are there any apologies? Sorry, we've gone a bit too quick. Where's that one? Just to talk about some of the long-standing councillors who have lost their seats this year. Obviously, they contributed a lot to the council over the years. So if somebody wants to contribute something towards them, I just want to say about Eric Firth. I've known him for a long time. He's been a long-standing councillor, a very experienced councillor, and a very helpful councillor, even to the new colleagues who came as councillors. In 2006, when I became a councillor, he supported me a lot. So I would just like to say thank you for his service. Eric Firth, Councillor Bellamy, Councillor Ken Smith, Councillor Ken Sims, and Councillor Hilary Richards. Anybody wants to say anything?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and once again, congratulations on becoming the Mayor for this year. Mr. Mayor, you also already mentioned Councillor Eric Firth. I want to just echo what you said. Councillor Eric Firth was a big personality in this council chamber. He was a councillor for many, many years, and I'm sure a lot of people will agree that he was actually a good person, a good councillor, and he got on with everybody in this chamber. The biggest loss to me will be his work that he was doing on the West Yorkshire Transport Committee. You know, he was doing a lot of good work, and he actually did a lot more than what would have been asked for, and that would be a sad loss. Also, Councillor Hill Richards, one of our councillors, and she lost a seat as well, so I wish her best of luck. And Ken Sims, he was around for over 30 years, and again, sad loss to this council, and I wish him all the best in whatever he does. And Councillor Donna Salami, Mr Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pando. Councillor Paul Kane. You're on now.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr Mayor. Can I just say an heartfelt congratulations to yourself. I think it's fantastic to have a Dewsbury Mayor. Your speech was quite long, but when you mentioned me, I thought I forgot about the time. So thank you very much, and I wish you a fantastic year. We are talking about Councillor Firth. Well, I'm talking about Councillor Firth. He was one of the best mayors we've ever had, I have to say that. And he raised a fantastic amount of money when he was mayor. So I wish you all the luck, and I wish that you can replicate what he actually did. He's and always has been a man of the people, and he was well represented. And I don't want to talk about the result. I think it's unfair because, as you said previously, we have lost some fantastic councillors this year, and I think it's been a shame. It's been one of them things that has been one of them years, and so be it. That is democracy. We all believe in democracy, and I think we should leave that where it is. I really want to talk about Eric as a person and as a friend. People used to come to me and say, Eric, can you do this? And I said, well, my name's Paul. He said, well, you come as a pair, don't you? Salt and pepper. He says, say, gin and tonic or whatever. And in actual fact, we used to have a laugh with me and Eric, and he used to say, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. And we said, well, which one's done? And neither of us owned up to it. Eric used to say I was done behind his back. But he has been a fantastic colleague of mine, and he's been a good representative, a fantastic representative for Dewsbury East. His work, as everybody knows here, he used to be on all sorts of different committees, and he was a fantastic representation of Kirklees Council, and people ought to appreciate this. Away from this council, away from the council itself, he was on numerous committees, numerous outside bodies, and represented this council in a way that everybody should think of and everybody should replicate. And I think we can't do any better than have a person that represents the council like Councillor Firth did. As I say, he was a fantastic mayor. It is a sad end to what was a fantastic career, and he put his life and soul into being a councillor. He put his life and soul to represent the communities in which he was born and which he was brought up. I just have to say, well done, Eric. I don't want to say, are you going to come back? I don't want to say it's an end to his career, but he was a fantastic representation of the people in which he served. Thank you, Mr Mayor, and good luck to Eric. Thank you.
Councillor Firth.
Thank you. Ken Sims, one of the hardest working councillors we had in the Home Valley Ward, and I've known Ken for over 40 years, long before he joined the council. He had a garage in Hepworth, and he also had a garage on Huddersfield Road, where he used to hold his surgeries most days down there. That's where he got a lot of his work done. He also attended a lot of committee meetings, and he was one of these sort of councillors who was get-atable. People could get to speak to him. He always replied to whatever anybody wanted. He would reply to them, and at the point he would get up there, get in his car and go and see them. exactly like I try to do, because that's the only way you can represent people properly, is knowing who you're representing and meeting with them and getting to know what the problems are. And if you can't solve them, we can't always, but more often than not, if you can't solve them, then you solve them. And Ken has been doing that for 31 years, and he's unbroken as far as his counselling went. He started in 1988 on Kirklees Council, and he was knocked off a couple of weeks ago. So he's done exactly 31 years, unbroken. And I find it a great shame, because he was a good councillor. He worked very hard. I know it's throwing a lot on us now, but it doesn't matter. We shall carry on, and we shall do our best, as we always have done, for the people of Home Valley South. And all I can say, he's been here this afternoon, he's been to the mayor making. People have been talking to him, and he has retained a courted seat somewhere in Kirklees, so at least he'll find something to do. Because at the end of 30-odd years, you know, and you suddenly find you've got nothing to do, comes a little bit hard, because he's been used to doing, as we all have, as most councillors do, and then suddenly it gets taken away from you. But he's been an excellent councillor, and I congratulate him for what he's done. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Councillor David Hall.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I think it's a nice opportunity actually to say thank you, because up until now, I think for several years, we tend to say bye-bye to those that voluntarily step down before an election, but those that lose, no matter what the party and what the service, tend to get a little bit short-changed, I think. So thank you for the opportunity, Mr Mayor. Just to keep it short, I'd like to talk just about all the councillors that didn't return. First of all, for Ken, you'll have heard about his long service. He's always been a great support and a great advisor to me ever since I was elected, and for that I am very grateful. To Donna, who's been a first-class Combe Valley councillor, very hard-working, and would always sit on any panel you gave her. Even in the year she was up for election, she was as busy as anybody. To Eric as well, we will miss Eric as well. I always found him a great pal. We always had some good times, and we used to have a laugh, you know, and he worked hard for this borough, like a lot of us do. So, and for Hilary as well, who I've known not so long, but I've served on committees with her, and of course she was an officer here, I believe, before then. So she's had a long association with Kirklees. I'm sad enough to watch election coverage from 1979, and I was watching some of the politicians speak, and it is noticeable that the way politicians spoke in those days is an awful lot better than the way politicians speak these days. For instance, they can put coherent sentences together, whereas you look at Parliament these days and you just hold your head in your hands. And Jeremy Thorpe had just lost his seat in North Devon. And one of the things he said when he was asked, well, how do you feel? He said, well, you shouldn't really be in politics if you can't handle losing your seat. And I thought, well, maybe that's one thing. We've got to respect democracy, as Paul says. And commiserations to those that didn't make it back, because they will be missed. Congratulations to those of you that got on the council. But that's democracy, and we've all got to support it. So let's pick it up from there and get on. Thank you.
Councillor Smith.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and congratulations on your speech this afternoon and your term of office. I hope you enjoy yourself. I'm going to be very brief, but I thought I had to say something, being a Home Valley lad, growing up in Home Firth. Ken Sims is someone who I've been aware of most of my life. His daughter was in my year at school, one of my best mates at school, went and worked for him in his garage, and being around Newmill and Home Firth, obviously I've seen what he's done. And I'd just like to say that you know, a lot of respect for Ken, and he'll be missed. And Donna and I have worked together quite a lot in the Combe Valley Association. She's a very hard worker. Aside from her work as a councillor, Donna was also the chair of the Combe Valley Association. And you know, she was a person you go to if you wanted some work doing in the background that wasn't going to get recognised, that wasn't going to be in glory. She was always there. And I think that's testament to Donna's character, and I'd just like to say I'll miss her as a friend and a colleague. Thank you.
Councillor Scott.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and congratulations on your morality. And also I'd like to congratulate Nigel Patrick on Deputy Mayor. I'm rising to speak about Councillor Eric Firth, and he was a remarkable character. And he's left a legacy in this chamber, not only here, across Kirklees, but in the central heart of Dewsbury. Now, democracy has prevailed, but I think today we also need to rise and recognise the fact we are human beings. And whatever happens out there, they forget that you have a family and things are surrounding you, that when malicious things or anything is said, we are under a code of conduct. So I'm asking this chamber today to take away and think about before you start putting things about each other. Now, as I move on to talk about Eric, he's left a legacy in Dewsbury. Despite what people think, he did everything he could in his powers for Dewsbury, from the train station, the gateways and everything. So I just think they're big shoes to fill, and he's been such a charitable person. I know he's going to continue it, but you know, can I just say, despite losing all our councillors that are well known, all the good work, don't forget them, pick up the phone, talk to them. They'd appreciate that call. So I wish Eric well, Donna well, because I've worked with her for some great committees. So yeah, so please don't forget these people. Okay.
Councillor Griffiths.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I would like to echo everything that my colleagues have already said about the outgoing councillors. I'd like to wish you personal congratulations. Those of you who saw me shed a tear in the ceremony earlier, just to reassure you, it wasn't the fact that we had to listen to the entire list of your extended family. It was actually because when I lived in Tower Hamlets in my 20s, amongst newly arrived Bangladeshi families, I never dreamt that I would serve on an authority that has a mayor of Pakistani heritage, and I am so pleased and proud that I do so. I'm delighted to welcome my colleague, Councillor Warner, but I would just like to say a word about Donna Bellamy, because obviously I've just finished my first year in office, and Donna has at all times been supportive and friendly, and she just happens to be in the wrong party. Thank you.
Councillor Idale.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. And first of all, congratulations. Your speech wasn't that bad, really. I would like to speak about Councillor Firth. I didn't really know Councillor Firth until I became his deputy. He was an absolute pleasure to work with. He and Janet were wonderful, really supportive. I was really sad when he lost his seat. I shall keep in touch with him, and I shall miss him. Thank you.
Councillor Kendrick.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Can I just point out that Councillor Firth is a very pleasant man still, and is still hard-working, as Councillor Sims is still here and hard-working, and so on. I absolutely acknowledge everything that's been said about Eric Firth, and the work that he certainly did at a regional level was very important. But I really wanted just to mention two people who have already been spoken about already, Councillor Richards and Councillor Bellamy, because they didn't hold any great office. They weren't as lucky as you folks to be mayor or deputy mayor. But if you wanted somebody to go to a committee, go to a meeting, do a piece of work, then they were two people you could rely on and ask, and they would do it to their utmost ability. I mean, the work that Donna did both on children's scrutiny, but on Health and Wellbeing Board and so on at corporate parenting, you know, I have to value Hilary. She used to say, oh, I've been to some sort of audit committee. I thought, God, the bug, how boring. She revelled in it, or I think she did, and worked really hard at it. And it is actually, those people were just our workers without any fancy title or position really have to be valued and thanked.
Councillor Ahmed.
Congratulations as well. A lot of people have said a lot about Eric. I just wanted to say a few words as well. I came out of university many years ago, and I got a job with Kirklees Council as a community development officer, and my areas were Chickenley, and those that know me remember I spent 5 years in Chickenley at the time, and Fieldhead, Brooklyn and Healy as part of my work in the 5 years. And Eric for me was a pillar really in terms of the work that I did in Chickenley. I think I really would have struggled if it wasn't for him, who took me around the streets. I still remember a street called Princess Avenue. Yeah, so some of the streets he took me around. I really echo some of the sentiments that people said and what he did for me. And funny enough, people said Eric has forgotten stuff and this, that and the other, but funny enough, he rang me a couple of days ago. He had a piece of work for my ward, and that's typical of Eric. He still hasn't, forgotten people, and he's still there helping people now, this very day. So I ended up picking that piece of work up, and I wish Eric the best in terms of what he's doing. The other person, I had a good time working with Donna Bellamy, actually with the NCS program, and a real big advocate on the NCS program, and I really will miss her because of the work she did on the NCS program as an elected member. It's very important to be part of the NCS program and what you bring and the expertise bring you, and the ones that have been Jagan's Den, they'll know themselves what it is. And so I'd just like to wish Donna the best as well in terms of what she's doing as well. Thank you. Thank you,
Councillor Murgatroyd.
Yeah, thank you and congratulations, Mr Mayor. I just wanted very briefly about Hilary Richards, just to recognise and thank I think she was a councillor for 8 years, for Goka Ward. And when I got elected last time, she said, one of the first things she said was, get ready for parking, potholes and speeding. And I think, all of us as councillors know we're always getting queries about traffic issues from residents, and Hilary would always do her best to represent any resident who approached us promptly, and she was really great at casework. But she was also a realist and a straight talker, and she often used to say about traffic problems, she used to say, well, I could sort out traffic problems in this ward tomorrow. All we'd have to do is knock down any house built before 1900. And if everyone's ever been to the Combe Valley, you'll know actually that wouldn't leave that many houses, to be honest with you. So she was a straight talker, and I think she'll be missed, and I think it's important that, her contribution is recognised.
Councillor Sokal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can I first of all congratulate you as election of a mayor this year, and Councillor Nigel Patrick as a deputy mayor. I hope you work together. Mr. Mayor, I got a lot of sympathy with those 4 members for last election. They were 4 very good. They were really dedicated councillors. They given a lot of time to the community and the council duty as well. But 2 of them, Councillor Farad, I spent over 20 years with him, and he always, as a business manager, he was on the sub list. Whenever I asked him, Eric, can you sub on so-and-so committee, please, for the member? He said, my friend, I'm always available. You let me know where you want. You're always there. Yeah. He never said, no, sorry, I haven't got time. Even one time, he had a meeting in Leeds, attending transport committee, and then there was a planning committee here at 1 o'clock. I said, well, Eric, I really need your help on, sorry. Like. So, yeah, good. You're sitting in. So,
He had a meeting 10 o'clock in Leeds, about 11 o'clock. He finished the meeting straight into his town hall here, 1 o'clock plan, and that kind of he was a councillor. So he was a really dedicated, we lost him. With regard to Councillor Ken Sims, he was really my personal friend over the year. I've been on the council 30 years now, and he's 31 years. And in 30 years, we've been together on the Huddersfield Planning Committee. And Councillor Ken Sims, he always very helpful to me over the year, and he always concerned me, Mohan, what we do this application. I know it's a protocol, it's an individual judgment, but we always discuss for the goodness of the community and the council. So I really miss these 4 members, especially Councillor Farth and Ken Sims. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I say a few words about Ken Sims, can I just ask you to bear with me, because my IT is not my best subject. And so I'll admit that I am making some mistakes, but there are definitely some glitches appearing, and we have Councillor McBride in a box of his own here, and nobody knows why. Nobody knows why. So we're going to leave him there, because we sort of think if we press the button that's next to him, well, everything, all the lights might go out. So anyway, just a few words about, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank Ken Sims for a lifetime's commitment serving the people of Home Valley and Kirklees. 31 years is a huge commitment, with time spent away from his family and his business to help others and for the betterment of the community. He was elected and re-elected many times to serve. Ken did not shirk from responsibility. He was Mayor of Kirklees, Deputy Leader of the Conservative Group, and held cabinet positions. Planning and regeneration was his great interest. Ken wasn't afraid to make decisions. Ken had the drive and conviction to do what he thought was right, and sometimes that led to disagreements with his ward colleagues, myself included. But you have to admire a man who has the ambition and energy and desire at the age of 80 to keep doing his job. Well done, Ken. You have my respect, and I wish you well. Hat tip, keep busy. Thank you.
Item 6, are there any apologies? Absence. Councillor Richard Smith.
Okay, apologies from Councillor Michael Watson.
Councillor Sokol.
Mr. Mayor, apology from Councillor Nahid Medhar. Thank you.
Item 7, page 13, Ward and Place Partnerships, Councillor Pando.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, there's been a lot of background work that's been done by members, leading members, and the steer that we provided at leading members. What I do, I instructed the Chief Exec that we need to actually start to put some locality work in back into this council. And the driver wasn't to look at the bureaucracy and the structures. He was to look at the place and how we can actually get councillors who are the champions of their communities to actively lead and advocate on behalf of their communities and the ward they serve. Members have got an insight and a valuable intelligence that no matter what data source you use, you cannot capture. Their roles have been championed, and the heart of local communities is recognised in this report. The report actually focuses on our key principles around people, places and partnerships. The people bit is about making sure that we actually work with people, not do things to them. Work with our partners and recognising the importance of the locality identity. And each place differs depending on where you come from within our borough. And at the heart of everything we'll do needs to be citizen engagement, working with local people in the geography that they identify themselves with, which is not necessarily on a ward basis. The report also mentioned that the cabinet lead will actually be the strategic lead for the locality working. One of the things I'm actually quite passionate about and quite focused about is this needs to be done in a cross-party basis. That's why what I've proposed is a ratio of 4:1:1, and there'll be another report at the end to actually put that recognition that we value that locality lead. This year, as a starter, what I've done is I've asked the Chief Exec to actually look at mental health and how we can use the £1.4 million that we've allocated within the budget to actually start to address some of the issues around mental health. Now, this is not to say that we become champions or experts in mental health. No, we have the professionals that will do that, who have been trained. But we know in our communities where the problems are, and we can work with officers, and we can work with our communities, and we can work with the data to actually start to drill down, and lead members and ward councillors will be actually the drivers to make that change happen. And I'd like to ask the council to approve this report. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Is that seconded? Are there any comments on this matter? Councillor David Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I rise to welcome this. I think the re-establishment of local cross-partnership committees is rather long overdue, and I would hope that this is a first step to bringing back some level of greater level of responsibility to councillors who know their patches best. I think it would probably be acknowledged by a lot of folk that the proposals are maybe crude at the moment. There's a few geographical anomalies, but I hope and expect ward councillors will work across the piece to shape these new committees, to shape them into the vessels they need to be over the next year. Councillor Pandor mentioned the extra money that's going, 1.4 million. It does actually say 1 million in the papers, so I hope he can clarify that. And so we'll support the establishment of the new committees, and we will give the assurance that we will endeavour to make them work, and not work for the convenience of the council or the councillors, but to work for the good of the residents. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Kane.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can I welcome the report? And I have to say this is not the first time I've read it. I mean, now I've read it previously, but I wasn't at the group when we discussed this. But I have to say, and I'm quite surprised at Councillor Smades, and I hope Councillor Lawson will sort of recommend and substantiate what we, as a committee, actually said when we looked at the scrutiny panel on mental health. And actually, the recommendations that came out and the commitments that we gave on the scrutiny panel has come to fruition. And that actually shows to the people out here that scrutiny does work. And it does work. And there was some, when we looked at mental health as an issue in Kirklees, there was some extremely poor delivery of services. There were some sad stories, and I mean extremely sad stories that we looked at, and the delivery of some of them services that we could possibly help with. And I'll just mention just a few. This is about well-being of people, well-being of people's lives, loneliness and isolation. If we can do anything with this money that's going into our areas, and it's attached through mental health and delivering some of these and actually remedying some of these issues, then it's the best thing that we've done for a long time on this council. Because I don't think people, and I think people underestimate, they really do underestimate the effect of mental health in our communities. When you go out there and you speak to people, you're knocking on people's door, you're probably the only person that they've seen in such a long time. It's our commitment that should be out there. We should be looking after these people. That's what we're here for. And I have to say this is a fantastic report, and it should be well received by every member of this committee, of this council, because we were committed as the actual scrutiny panel to deliver something, and we've delivered it. Thank you very much, Chair.
Councillor Lawson.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll add my congratulations to the player and also to the Deputy Mayor. Thank you. So, as Councillor Hall has said, we welcome this move towards more local working. Indeed, the Liberal Democrats have tried to extol the virtues of the area committees that were removed for no clear reason, but they were removed. I appreciate all the work that's gone into this. It's been good work, it's been high quality work. And I'm willing to take part and to see it succeed. Especially after talking to colleagues where there's been pilots, and that's always recommendation is always the best. A couple of concerns. So while the idea of the place standard used as a mapping of public perception and expectation seems to have been generally well received, that seems to be where, at the moment, where public participation ends. And it makes me nervous when we talk about doing things with people and not to people. Because that's our mantra now, quite rightly, that's our mantra. It should be, that's what local government is all about. So I just want to see how that develops and how that kind of confirmation and that dialogue, that iterative process happens with the public. I think it's probably worth making one more comment. I'll pick up on Councillor Kane's comments here, if I may. I agree wholeheartedly with what you said. And actually being on that scrutiny panel was an eye-opener for me, and I think for all of us. I'd just add a little bit of a caveat there and try and manage our expectations. £1 million sounds like a lot of money. It is. It's spread across the whole borough, so it starts to get a little bit thinner, and it's a one-off spend. So we're not talking about installing new services here. We're talking about what can we do as a one-off capital-style spend to improve things, mental health outcomes for our local communities. So I'd just say that is one of the most pervasive health issues of the day, and that £1 million might not just buy us everything that we'd wish, and just leave that there and we'll just see how this develops. Thank you.
Councillor Bolt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I add my congratulations to you and your deputy for taking office. I welcome this report, and in particular on page 15, item 2.10, where it says that the approach to ward partnerships will be flexible with no set model. I hope, therefore, that in areas members will give consideration where there are town and parish councils in existence who can help us to deliver those services at the local level, bearing in mind that this council did sign a concordat with those 5 town and parishes some years ago, which is still to be developed. In particular, that they address the opportunities of producing ward plans. Because, Mr Mayor, in Mirfield Town Council did a survey with every house in the borough, and therefore we have the basis of the ward plan because we had a fantastic response from those people saying what they wanted to see happen in Mirfield. So I hope this partnership will look to work with Mirfield Town Council and to see that taken forward. And, Mr Mayor, as the town mayor this year, may I hope to welcome you to Mirfield at some point in the future.
Councillor Cooper.
So, following on from Councillor Bolt, where there aren't parish council, of course, what are the structures? What are the bodies that we're going to be working with? And I think in some of those cases, those exist. In the ward we represent, we've got the News and Ward Community Forum, chaired by former Councillor Julie Stewart-Turner. So we have quite a good structure there where it meets every couple of months, and it oversees an awful lot of voluntary work which goes on within the ward. And so that's a good body for us to engage with in these sort of structures. But I think there's a real job for us all to get out there and see what's relevant here in terms of mental health. Within Huddersfield Town Centre, we've got a great project, which is the Platform One project, where the Chief Executive came out to visit, working with some very isolated individuals a lot of the time, bringing them in, getting them involved, dealing with people who other people won't deal with. Some of those folks are referred to this body by other agencies who would then get money from the council for referring to these people who don't get that much support from the council. But that's been addressed and that's been dealt with. So there's getting out and about and seeing these places. We've got a scheme called Growing Newsham within the Newsham Ward, where it's a food growing project. But the people who are involved with it is very volunteer based. Like they say, it's not just about growing food, it's about growing friendships. It's about people coming together and people who go and dig an allotment together, get involved in projects there. In itself, it's not a mental health project, but it helps people's well-being and mental health. And so I think in every ward we should be looking at those sort of projects. What are those things? What are those preventative elements? But what are the people at the sharp end who we can do most to help with? So this is a huge challenge, I think, for every member to sort of look at this and grab the opportunity that comes from this. And I'm quite excited by it, and I think we're going to do some good work with it. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Right of reply, Councillor Pando.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to clarify, Councillor Hall is right. £1 million is in mental health, and £400,000 is domestic abuse. So you're quite right. But when I'm talking on this subject, I lump it all in. So that's how it's broken down. In terms of greater level of responsibility, Councillor David Hall mentioned that. That is the intention, Mr. Mayor. And it's about recognising the geography at a local level, and it's about each member taking that ownership at their ward level and working within that locality with that locality lead, and then feeding up into the cabinet. And at the same time, it's not a top-down approach, it's a bottom-up approach, and that's how I see this working. Councillor Paul Kane actually mentioned a really important point, which actually Councillor Lawson mentioned as well, that the work of the scrutiny committee that was done, which I was aware of, but I wasn't aware of the detail, in terms of, this is something that's actually been addressed in that committee, and it's really heartwarming to know that part of the recommendations that were discussed at that committee are actually included in these proposals. Because Councillor Paul Kane is right, it's about loneliness, it's about isolation, and it's about making sure that we actually understand how we can actually start to make that bigger difference. And I only believe that can happen when you actually start working at a ward level. And you're right, Councillor Lawson, it's about working with people rather than doing to people, and I hope that we can start to actually resonate that a lot more throughout this year. And Councillor Bolt, again, absolutely, there is no fixed formula. If parish councils exist in your locality, then parish councils will be part of that solution. And it should actually cross structures, whilst at the same time recognising the structure that we have. And Councillor Cooper, again, spot on. It's challenging, but that challenge can only be actually taken on board, and we can start delivering it. Every single member actually steps up. And one of the key things, and I've said this to the leaders, that it will be critical for the personality to actually make this work at a local level. So I'm very confident and hopeful that the locality leads that we have got the right skills and the right talents and abilities, and at the same time we will be supporting them throughout this process, because we've got to make this work. And I'm really pleased from what I'm hearing, and I welcome that, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pando. Can we vote by showing of hands? That's carried. Thank you. Item 8, locality lead role, reference from Corporate Governance and Audit Committee. Councillor Pattison.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and congratulations to yourself and to the Deputy Mayor. I'm rising to move this report as a member of the Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, but in doing so, or before I do so, I would just like to pay thanks to Councillor Hilary Richards, who was the previous chair of Corporate Governance and Audit, and for all the hard work that she had put in to that committee over the years. I also welcome all the comments that were made previously on the previous report and would like to echo those as well. So to move things forward, I would like to move that this Council agrees to one, establish the locality lead role on a 4:1:1:1 ratio as set out on the tabled report, and two, that the remuneration for the role be referred to the Members' Allowances Independent Review Panel for consideration following a redraft of the role profile in order to provide more clarity of the role further to the request of Corporate Governance and Audit Committee.
Thank you, Councillor Pattison. Is that seconded?
Yeah, Mr Mayor, I second it.
Thank you. Are there any comments on this item? Councillor Lukic.
Mr Mayor, can I offer you my congratulations? I'm delighted to have a Dewsbury Mayor in my first year as councillor, and offer my congratulations to the Deputy Mayor as well. I also want to express my gratitude to Eric Firth for his service to Dewsbury and to Kirklees as a whole. The nominations for locality lead members, I first saw these this morning. When I first saw it, the locality lead nomination for Dewsbury, I was slightly concerned, as this member in the past has proposed shutting down local plan debates, preventing many opposition members from speaking. And I think to accept this locality lead member role, a member has to be willing to work with all councillors within their locality. However, I want to extend a hand and offer my good faith to Councillor Asif, and so I think Dewsbury will be watching to see if we can put our differences aside for the benefit of the town. So I will be supporting this. Just wanted to make that clear. Thank you.
Councillor Lawson.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I won't congratulate you again.
You can if you want.
All right, then congratulations again. And to the Deputy. I have more reservations, or the few reservations that I have about item 7 are kind of deeper than my reservations against the other one. It's simply because we have a lead role that's yet to be defined yet. I know that there is a definition in here, but it seems like a definition for an officer's role. I've been doing a lot of interviewing recently for officers' roles, and it seems very similar. And of course, what we do as councillors is quite different. So I'd like to see that developed and worked through a little bit more. The proportionality, I get why it's proportional. I've got a few issues about, is it really proportional? And you know, if you've got a Lib Dem member in the Spen Valley, which is with Murfield is mostly Conservative, is that proportional? And there's just a couple of issues like that that need balancing through. So yes, it's acceptable, but I think there are some real problems with actually just understanding what it's made of, what the workloads are going to be like for the smaller groups if they've got a lead member on here, what those workloads look like, and will they be swamped in their other work. So, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think that's it. Thank you.
Councillor Cooper.
There are some questions, and I'm sure these are brought up at Corporate Governance and Audit Committee about the role. There's some real questions that sort of come out here. The very first bullet point: provide leadership at a locality level to facilitate the involvement of councillors and officers and partners. Good, but how is the question? And so that how, because it's a question hanging there. It's like it will be different in different places. That's okay, as it will fit. But that means that it might be patchy. It means that it might work less well in some places than others. And so we've really got to work at that to make sure it happens. So really wondering about those structures. And identifying support and building community capacity in the context of locality working. Great, that's a role, but that means that those members, those lead members, will be working within other wards. And so there's got to be a certain amount of understanding about that, and particularly where there are different parties involved. And there's this thing about working proactively, constructively with ward councillors within their respective locality. Yes, that is absolutely essential with this, but it's not just the role of the lead member, it's the role of every councillor who's involved within those areas. And so there needs to be an understanding between councillors from those different wards that's a role not just for the lead member, but for all the councillors working within that area.
Right of reply, Councillor Pattison.
Oh, rather, Mr. Mayor. Just to say, I mean, I think we've already said in the recommendation that the role we had, our corporate governance and audit, we did too have our concerns about the officeries of this, and what things might actually mean in practice. It's all still to be, a lot of it's still to be worked out, but certainly the role profile, we will be looking at that, or that will be looked at again before it goes to the remuneration panel.
Thank you, Councillor Pattison. Can we vote with show of hands? Item 9, propose amendments to the Constitution, reference from Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, page 25. Councillor Pattison.
This is where I start bobbing up and down, I think. Can I move that the proposed changes to the Constitution and the recommendations as set out in paragraph 6, page 31 of the report be approved?
Thank you, Councillor Pattison. Is that seconded?
Thank you. I nearly said Madam Mayor, I nearly slipped. Thank you, Mayor. My congratulations to you and to Nigel as your deputy for the coming year. I'm rising to second this, and we'll just draw people's attention to item 2.13, where it makes very clear that the proposed changes to the Procedure Rule 18, subsection 17, hasn't been recommended for approval, and that we had that discussion at Corporate Governance and Audit and felt that there was more work needed in that space. So just make that crystal clear to people that we're not voting for that today. Thank you.
Are there any comments, Councillor Cooper?
My belated congratulations to you, Mr. Mayor, and to the Deputy. I got up for the third time. I guess my disappointment with this is obviously there's some changes in here, but the changes we need to make to the Constitution really are changes which mean we'll actually finish the business of each council meeting. If we ducked that with these changes, we're going to go to the same old issues again, where we do not finish the business of the council meetings. We have motions which drip over for 3-4 times. We have questions which are not answered. We have a whole load of business. Basically, we're trying to put a quart in a pint pot, and we're still doing that. And if we don't address that issue, at some point we will have the same dysfunctional council meetings that we continually have in this council. And new members will experience this. I'll think, well, how come we're going home? Because we haven't finished everything. And so until we actually grasp that nettle, and actually say we've got an issue to do here, which means possibly longer council meetings, then we're not really addressing the problems that we really need to address.
Councillor Lawson.
Thank you, Matt. So much of item 9 is actually quite innocuous. It's amendments and updates. Been through them, and there's nothing particularly startling there. I particularly approve of point 2.08 on page 27, which is the one, as I'm sure you all remember, is allowing a petition organiser to send a representative. Now, that seems like common sense to us now, and it seems like a surprise that it wasn't in there in the first place. It's just something that the public would expect to be there, and I think that's good that it's there. The 4 points in 2.09, I need to point out, are Labour points from March 20th, nothing to do with the motion that was brought forward, and I note the new timeline is the 17th of July. I look forward to them as much as I was looking forward to the proposals that haven't come today. The last point I'd make is poor old CPR 18, open brackets, 17, close brackets, A. This was the original joint motion on the 20th of March in response to the cutting short of the LDP debate. Now, I think it's found itself in the long grass. I understand why there's more work to be done on it, but I noticed that there are no timescales attached to bringing it back for consideration. That's a little bit worrying. So, and it's worrying because if the administration does not allow full and robust debate, the public will not trust its decisions. If it is not transparent and it's holding executive to account and its answer to written questions, people will take 2 and 2 and they won't make 5 because they have nothing else to go on. So what might seem like in the moment an easier path not to answer questions in a public forum might actually be the more difficult one in the long run, because you'll bring the administration a lot of long-term problems. But more than that, what I'm more concerned about is you'll bring the council and its residents more problems and more uncertainty. Thank you.
Thank you. Right to reply, Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to say that the concerns that Councillor Lawson has raised, these are going to, the Council's Democracy Commission will be looking at the issues that he's raised, and it is intended that that will be coming back to Council on the 17th of July, as it states in the report. So I trust that puts his mind at rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Patterson. Can we vote by showing of hands? Thank you, that is carried. Item 10, propose amendments to the Code of Conduct, reference from Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, page 89. Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the proposed changes to the Code of Conduct and the recommendations as set out in paragraph 6, page 94 of the report be approved.
Is that seconded?
Didn't reserve the right. Thank you.
Are there any comments on that? Councillor Bolt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I welcome the opportunity that this is here for acceptance again, so that all members are aware of it. And can I draw members, and particularly the Leader and Cabinet's attention to page 98, paragraph 3.5, which talks about accountability. Holders of public office are accountable to the public for their decisions and actions and must submit themselves to scrutiny necessary to ensure this. Compare this as well, Mr. Mayor, with the role profile of the Leader and Cabinet members, which underpins the members' allowances, which says that the Leader is to act as spokesperson for the authority. Therefore, can I ask for an assurance from the Leader and his Cabinet members that during the coming year, Mr. Mayor, that they will submit themselves to the necessary scrutiny, whether that's in this chamber, by the members of the public, or indeed by the media, so that whether it's roads, refuse or recreation grounds, we will not see as much of a council spokesman saying anything, but we will actually see the Leader and his Cabinet members standing up and being responsible for those decisions and actions.
Thank you. Councillor Pando.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And yes, Madam Mayor then. That's what we do. You might sound...
Can we be quiet down there, please?
But having said that, right, yeah, you know, if you have any examples, right, that you can give me afterwards, I'm happy to take them on board. Because that is what we do, Mr. Mayor. We, on a continuous basis, are accountable, not just to this council chamber, but we also go into communities our ward colleagues, our ward councillors, and you know, unless Martin knows something else, right, yeah, that is what we do.
Can we have a bit of a hush, please? Let Councillor Pando speak. It's not easy, you know, standing up there and speaking. It's really hard. And I think we should give respect to each other. When somebody's standing, we shouldn't be talking. We should be really listening because it's something important that he's saying. So thank you, Councillor Pando.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, what I was saying was that is what we do as a leadership and as a cabinet, and we'll continue to do that. And if Martin has got any examples, I'm happy to discuss them with him after the meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Pando. Right to reply, Councillor Patterson? No? Can we show of hands for the vote? That's carried, thank you. Item 11, propose amendments to contract procedure rules, reference from the Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, page 113. Councillor Pattison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the proposed changes to contract procedure rules as set out within the report be approved.
Thank you, Councillor Pattison. Is that seconded? Thank you. Are there any comments on this matter? No? If there's any comments? No. Can we show of hands and vote? That's carried. Thank you. Item 12, propose amendments to the financial procedure rules, reference from the Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, page 185. Councillor Pattison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the proposed changes to the financial procedure rules as set out within the report be approved.
Thank you, Councillor Pattison. Is that seconded? Thank you. Is there any comments on that? All right. Can we show vote on? All right. Thank you. Carried. Item 13, meeting of the Council 2019-2020, reference from Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, page 235. Councillor Pattison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the proposed schedule of council meetings 2019-2020 be approved.
Thank you, Councillor Pattison. Is that seconded? Thank you. Are there any comments on that? Councillor Pattison? No? Right of reply? No. Can we show hands for vote? Carried. Thank you. We're going quite quick, aren't we?
Oh, don't think too soon.
I'll be making more mistakes. Item 14 is to determine the committee of the Council for 2019-2020 municipal year, page 239. Councillor Mohan Singh, Sokal.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the proposed schedule of council meeting 2019-20 be approved. The approval be given to establishment of committees, panels and board as set out in report at agenda item 14 in accordance with the council constitution. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Sokal. Is that seconded? Are there any comments on this matter? Right of reply, Councillor Mohan.
It's all accepted, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Can we show vote of... Right. Show hands, yeah. Carried. Item 15, re-establishment of boards and working parties, page 243. Councillor Sokal.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I move that the recommendation as set out on page 248 be approved and the approval be given to the re-establishment of corporate parenting board, the Democracy Commission and Working Party, and the Climate Emergency Working Party. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sokal. Is that seconded? Are there any comments on this? The right of reply, Councillor Sokal. Yeah, can you be show of hands to vote? Carried, thank you. Item 16. What's that revised? Is that, or revisions of Health and Wellbeing Board, page 251. Councillor Sokal.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the revised term of reference of Health and Wellbeing Board be approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sokal. Is that seconded?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Seconded and reserve the right. Thank you.
Is there any comments on this matter? Right of reply, Councillor Sokal. Okay, can we show of hands, please? Carried, thank you. Item 17, allocation of seats. Intend to deal with this matter in two parts. Firstly, to determine those committees and boards where the requirements of sections 15 and 16 of the Local Government and Housing Act 1989 shall not apply. Councillor Sokal.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the requirement of section 15 and 16 of the Local Government and Housing Act 1989 shall not apply to the Corporate Governance and Audit Committee, Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee, and Health and Wellbeing Board for the municipal year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sokal. Is that seconded?
Seconded, Mr. Mayor, and reserve the right.
Thank you. Is there any comments? Councillor Monroe.
Oh, yes. I'd like to... Mr Mayor, sorry. Is that a bit loud? I'd like to propose Councillor Cole-Burke to the to membership of the Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee. Oh, sorry. 17.
No, that was item
Sorry.
18.
Oh.
This is 17. Okay. I think you're quicker than me. Right. Right of reply, Councillor Sokal.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, can you go to the vote, please? Show of hands, yeah. Carried, thank you. So, Item 17, Part 2, number of proportion of committees and boards and panels. Councillor Sokal.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, the number and proportion of members of committees, boards and panels be in accordance with the schedule at agenda item 17. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Sokal. Is that seconded?
Seconded, Mr. Mayor, and reserve the right.
Thank you. Is there any comments on this item? Right of reply, Councillor Sokal. Can we vote by showing of hands, please? Carried, thank you. Now we're on item 18. Membership of committees, board and panels and substitute panel. Councillor Sokal.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the membership as set out in the as set out in the table report be approved, and that the allocation of any outstanding places on any committee, boards and panels or subsequent amendment be delegated to the two group business managers. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Sokal. Is that seconded?
Seconded, Mr. Mayor, reserve the right.
Thank you. Any comments on that? Councillor Monroe.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much. Congratulations on your appointment. I'd like to propose Councillor Colberg to the position of membership of the Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee. Thank you. In place of Andrew Mockington. Councillor Andrew Mockington.
Okay. Does anybody object to that? We okay? Yeah. So we accept that and go to the... Can we show of hands for the vote, please? That's carried. Thank you. Item 19, dates and times of committee, boards and panels, page 259. Councillor Sokal.
Mr. Mayor, I move that dates and times of meeting of committees, boards and panel be in accordance with the schedule at agenda item 19. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sokal. Is that seconded?
Seconded, Mr. Mayor, reserve the right.
Thank you for that. Are there any comments on this matter? Right of reply, Councillor Sokal. Thank you, Councillor Sokal. Can we show of hand and vote, please? Carried. Thank you. Item 20, appointments of members to the joint authorities, page 269. Councillor Sokal.
Mr. Mayor, I move that recommendation as set out in paragraph 6 of the report, page 272 be approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sokal. Is that seconded?
Seconded, Mr. Mayor, reserve the right.
Are there any comments on this matter? Right of reply, Councillor Sokal.
Move to the vote, Mr. Mayor.
Might as well just do one vote and get it over and done with. Can we show of hands, please, and vote? Carried. Thank you. Item 21, to outside bodies and other committees, page 275. Councillor Sokal.
I move the recommendation as set out paragraph 7 of the report, page 277, be approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sokal. Is that seconded?
Second, Mr. Mayor, and reserve the right.
Thank you. Are there any comments on this matter? Right of reply, Councillor Sokal. You might as well get up. It's okay. Yeah, can we show of hands and vote, please? Carried. Thank you. It's a bit of exercise for you, Sokal. Item 22, nomination of council spokesperson on joint committees and external bodies to reply on oral questions at council meetings upon any service provided by their organisations. Page 203. Councillor Sokal again.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move the recommendation as set out at paragraph 6 of the report, page 295, be approved. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sokal. Is that seconded?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Second, and reserve the right.
Is there any comments on this item? Right of reply, Councillor Sokal. Okay. Come on, Councillor Sokal, you have to stand up. Thank you. I'm just trying to do a bit of exercise for him, so he's fit.
No problem, Mr. Mayor. Just move to the...
Can we show vote of hands? Show your hands for the vote, please. Thank you. Carried. Item 23, appointment of chairs of committees, panels, boards for the municipal year. Councillor Sokal. Again.
Mr. Mayor, I move the appointment of chairs of committees and panel be in accordance with the schedule as circulated to all members of the council. I believe all members got the copy of those chairs on their desk. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sokal. Is that seconded?
Seconded, Mr. Mayor, and reserve the right.
Are there any comments on this matter? Councillor Lawson.
Thank you, Mayor. On Part E, the Chair of Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee, I'd like to propose from the floor Councillor Carhill Burke be considered for that. It's important that we have a choice, especially with that committee in this chamber. For many years, the Conservatives, I beg your pardon, provided that choice, and they often put up an alternative candidate. And we're doing the same now. Carhill Burke is more than qualified to excel and exceed in the role. He's been in scrutiny for nearly a decade now and knows scrutiny well, and I think he would do well for this council in that role. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lawson. Richard, I think.
I'd like to second that, please, and I'd like to echo what my fellow councillor here has said in respect of Councillor Colbert. I think he'd do an excellent job, and he has previously indicated an interest in taking that role on. Thank you.
Thank you. Richard.
Right. So the proposal in the motion is that we deal with this item en bloc in accordance with the schedule. So we've got an alternative proposal for Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee. We should vote on that independently first of all, then move to the remaining appointments. So we now need to have a vote. So all those in favour of Councillor Smage as Chair of Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee? No, we're dealing. No, it's not. Yeah.
Can we just have one person, please? Can we have one person, please?
We're dealing with the amendment now. We deal with appointments by way of ballot. So now we've got two members put forward. It's a vote for Councillor Smage and a vote for Councillor Burke. And the one who gets the most votes is appointed to the Chair of Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee.
Is that okay, yeah?
So, all those in favour of Councillor Smaje as Chair of Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee, please vote. Those against? Sorry, I apologise. Those in favour of Councillor Burke? Yeah. Councillor Smaje is appointed Chair of Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee. We need to clarify now, before we go to the vote on the remaining positions, that do Council accept that Councillor Burke be put forward as the
that side, please.
Councillor Burke be put forward as the nomination as lead member for the Children's Scrutiny Panel in place of Councillor Marchington. Is that accepted? Yeah. Now you can just go to the vote now.
Right. Can we... Can we go to the vote? Show of hands, please. Carried, thank you. The meeting of the Council has now concluded, and all members please remain seated for the following meeting: Licensing and Safety Committee, Overview and Scrutiny Management Committee, Standards Committee, Strategic Planning Committee and Personnel Committee. And thank you very much, everybody. Andrea?
Okay, so we'll do Licensing and Safety Committee first. If the following members could please stand: Councillors Patterson, Akhtar, Homewood, Kaushik, Sokol, Yusra Hussain, Uppal, David Hall, Kath Taylor, Granger Mead, Iredale, Paul Davis, Allison, Lyons, and the Chair is Amanda Pinnock.